every culture has proverbs and sayings that, in short order, point to a reality experienced by people at large. Proverbial sayings accurately reflect the culture in which they are spoken. They are quips that are easy to remember and often shine a light of truth and wisdom on living well. It really isn't whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Discretion is the better part of valor. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And then there are the wisdom sayings updated by each generation, and we have some of those too. One of my favorites is interns can't be choosers. Actions speak louder than passive-aggressive texts. The grass is always greener when you're still on your parents' insurance plan. And there's no place like Whole Foods. One of the major kinds of writings in the Bible is wisdom. In the Hebrew Scriptures, these include the book of Proverbs, the book of Job, Ecclesiastes, and some of the Psalms. James in the New Testament is considered wisdom literature, as well as the sayings of Jesus. Many of us enjoy reading the book of Proverbs because, let's face it, it's easy to understand. They're short. And even if wisdom makes us personally uncomfortable from time to time, they are sayings that we can grasp. To say that the book or books of wisdom were written by Solomon is really more of an honorary thing than a literal thing. While Solomon's wisdom was legendary, his sayings addressed phenomena in nature instead of human behavior, which is what the book of Proverbs is about. Proverbs, in its current form, have a specific purpose, which is noted at the very beginning of the book. They were written down so that people would know wisdom and instruction, understand words of insight, receive instruction in wise dealing, righteousness, justice, and equity, that prudence may be given to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth, that wise people also may hear and increase in learning and acquire skill, and to understand a proverb and a figure of speech, the words of the wise and their riddles. Jewish culture is rich in proverbs, and they enlighten one's relationship with God as well as our relationship with one another. Of course, some are misunderstood, and some lose a little bit in translation. And some, like any other part of Scripture, can be twisted and misused. One example is co-opting the proverb, "Spare the rod and spoil the child," which is often used to sanction child abuse. The actual proverb is, "Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them." The rod in this instance doesn't necessarily mean a weapon, but a measuring stick. What is clear throughout the collection is that God implores us to embrace wisdom for our own well-being, for the health of society, and in order to be in alignment with God. Wisdom admonishes us and pleads with us to listen to her and learn from her. She cries out in the street, raises her voice in the square and in the gateways, that is, in the public places of our lives. She is not subtle or mysterious. She is accessible to everyone. Wisdom refers to those who will not embrace her as simple, as haters of knowledge, and as fools. I told you, she pulls no punches. She also notes that those who seek wisdom are most open to learning and correction. While Proverbs is relatively easy to read, the truths are quite profound. Sometimes they make you think, doing pretty well. And sometimes they make me think, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. And it's all okay, because Proverbs are a teaching tool. They make you think, if you're willing, and they help us understand the things that are not within our control. Proverbs is an equal opportunity confronter, and Proverbs is an equal opportunity supporter, which helps us not to be too hard on ourselves. In our culture, where people are not encouraged to work on their filters, and we are quick to misunderstand because we communicate on social media, Proverbs is a wonderful book to read and to ground ourselves in the way that we need to think, speak, and act. Jesus was also a lover and speaker of wisdom. Throughout his ministry, he broke down complicated questions with simple and straightforward answers. Who is my neighbor? Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar? How much should I give? And how many times do I need to forgive someone? When chaos, and fear, and anxiety grip his followers, Jesus says,